Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
Hey, how are ya? Listen, I've got something cool for you today. Today I'm going to kick you, but I'm going to kick you with my mind, okay? Today, everybody knows the 5 elements. Well, so we're not going to go with like the Avatar elements. We're not going like earth, wind, fire, water. No, we're going with the Chinese principles of the 5 elements. The earth, the fire, the water, the metal, and the wood. Okay, 1, because of Warriors of Virtue, which was sick.
Weapons, wood, fire, earth, metal, and
water.
2, because I make the rules, and I said so, okay? So shut it. Here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to assign 2 martial arts styles to each element. I could go 1, I could go 3, but no, I'm choosing to do 2. Why 2? So yeah, let's jump into it. So when I think of fire, I think of fast, I think of sweeping, and I don't mean sweeping like your 3-year-old nephew says when he's tired, like a sweeping. No, like woof, vastly moving, whoosh, whatever, I don't know. So our first one here for fire is going to be Taekwondo, okay? Why Taekwondo? Well, I don't know why. Fast kicks make me think of fire. I feel like that makes sense, right? Also, they're not necessarily going for deep impact, or at least for some of the sports stuff, but you think about a lot of the stuff is with the top of the foot, which leaves a burning sensation on your skin. It just makes sense. Moving on. Let's move on to earth now. So when I think of earth, I think of sturdy, I think of non-moving. This one's a tough one. I feel like the very obvious one that I'm going to give right now is going to be way easier than the second one that I'm going to give, because frankly, I haven't come up with most of these yet. But for our second option, we're going to go with sumo wrestling. Now, is that really a martial art? Yes. Kinda. So, sumo, obviously everybody knows what sumo is. You put on the diaper and then you wrestle. I've still got to find somebody to do that with. Shut up, bird. But yeah, sumo wrestling is all about moving your opponent. It's planetary destruction. Sumo wrestling is going to fall under earth for sure. Now, this next one, water. I think water's got to be one of the most interesting ones in my opinion. And I think that I've got a great answer for it that you're probably not even thinking about. Bird! Shut your mouth! So for water, what I'm thinking is, water moves, it flows over top of things, and then it crashes. It's got like a very circular movement to it in a way, right? Very light and arid, and then bang, has hard impact.
you son of
That's judo, baby. That's judo. Judo, you could argue, could be earth in a way. That's kind of the only other one I would give it, but judo is definitely water. You think about it, it moves in waves. It's very like flowing until it goes whoop, and a person's in the air, which is also very flowing, and then crashes down onto the ground. Nothing quite like judo. I want to take some judo. Metal. Metal's where I don't really know what I would want to give metal to be honest. Metal. Hold on. Metal. I might even skip metal and come back. I don't know how I feel about this one. Metal. We're gonna come back to it. We'll make sure metal gives us 2. Next, we're gonna go with wood. Now, this one could be controversial. I don't really think it is. When you think about wood, you think of long, you think of tall, you think of moving but sturdy and rooted to the ground. What is that? 100% Muay Thai. Taller stances, chopping things down, which I guess is like what happens to wood, but Muay Thai fighters fight each other, right? So that kind of makes sense. When I think of Muay Thai, I think of being able to move around but stay rooted to the ground. I'm giving Muay Thai to wood for this first option. I still don't know what I'm going to do about this metal, but Muay Thai makes sense here, right? Like obviously they kick the banana trees and stuff like that, and it's very cool and it's very like, bang, look at how strong I am. But Muay Thai is also very rooted. Like the whole point system of Muay Thai is based off of moving your opponent. Not the whole thing, but you know, a decent portion of it. So I think wood fits there. I think wood definitely fits there. Let's move on to fire part 2. Oh, what am I going to do about metal? Hold on. I've got to get metal in. Metal. 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 Metals are lustrous, malleable, ductile, and good conductors of heat and electricity. Other properties include malleable, ductile. I don't even know what half of those words are. Beams, sturdy, cars, protective. Metal's protective. Metal is Krav Maga. Metal is definitely Krav Maga. Wow, what an amazing set of movements I just went through there to get to that. Told you I'm going to kick you with some brain stuff today, ladies and gentlemen. Protective, moving, plus Krav Maga like uses AKs. What other martial arts style uses assault rifles?
So I need to hit it to the side. Okay.
Krav Maga is definitely metal. Now I know not all Krav Maga. Anything you say online automatically becomes right and wrong. There's no like, I'm gonna have to research that. It's always right or wrong, but that's fine. Either way, I guess I kind of signed up for this, huh? Round 2 now. Round 2 for fire, what we're gonna talk about. I think that I'm actually gonna give it to Kalaripayattu. Kalaripayattu is an Indian style. It's one of the older styles. I think it's second oldest to pankration. A lot of like flowing to hard movements, which I guess you could argue are water, but they're different. They're moving upwards in a lot of the things. Not moving down like Judo does, but moving upwards, which is kind of what fire does. Heat rises, right? Different reasons than we gave it to Taekwondo, although Taekwondo makes sense too because you're moving upwards. Fire. Kalaripayattu. A lot of weapons work, a lot of slashing weapons, not a lot of blunt force weapons in Kalaripayattu. I think Kalaripayattu makes sense for fire. If you argue it, then you prove to me that you know nothing at all about anything. Okay, now we're going to try and find our second earth martial art. Earth martial art. We talked about how it could be Judo. What are some characteristics of the earth? Big, round, mountainous, terrainy, difficult to navigate around. Kind of all-encompassing, which is not necessarily what we have from Sumo, but hear me out. MMA is not a style, but if it were, I think it would be earth. A lot of wrestling based, but it is all encompassing. It's not an easy thing to manage. Earth has so many different aspects to it. Like technically it's as an element, right? It is supposed to be the ground. The earth means ground. But hear me out. It could also contain all of these other things in it. So what does that mean? So MMA is going to be our second earth here. Does it make sense? Sorta. Is it a stretch? Yes, absolutely. Could I have gone with like Greco-Roman wrestling? Could I have gone with like Folkstyle wrestling? Yes, I think that probably would have been a better one now that I'm looking at it and I'm thinking about it, and probably we'll throw that in there just because. Okay, moving on to water part 2. What else is very water-esque? Jiu-Jitsu. Jiu-Jitsu is very similar to Judo in a lot of different ways. Jiu-Jitsu comes from Judo, and it has a lot of the same elements. Now, maybe not so much of the takedowns anymore, but it still has a lot of like the flowing aspects until it crashes and takes one of your limbs off of your body. So Jiu-Jitsu is going to be our second martial art element. So Jiu-Jitsu is actually going to be our second style that is from the water element. And if you guys like this, make sure you give me some more suggestions that you want to see in the comments below, and we'll make a part 2 of this. As if metal wasn't difficult enough the first go round, now I've got to think about it again. Once again, we're going to skip metal because maybe it'll come back to me. Wood part 2 is definitely karate. I don't think it's as wood as Muay Thai is. Now, obviously, there's differences where if you talk about like some of the sport karate, we would definitely go into like the fire area. You talk about Kyokushin, I think Kyokushin is very wood, if not maybe even a little bit metal. It does have some of the Judo aspects to it, which could be water. Karate, if taught right, should be all of these things. But on average, I give karate to wood. It favors the longer fighters. It favors the people that are sturdier. So karate's going to be a wood for us. I'm having a hard time right now, I'm not going to lie. Metal. Honestly, I think we're going to give Jeet Kune Do medal. No, that doesn't really make any sense because it's not really like bending, you know? Maybe Arnis. All right, so I'm either going to give Arnis or... And I know like Arnis is... Obviously, they use Eskrima, which are wooden. But I can't think of anything else, to be fair. So we're going to put Arnis in here. You guys might disagree with that. I'm sorry. Well, there you have it. Here's our list. Fire, Taekwondo, Kalaripayattu. Earth, Sumo, Wrestling, MMA, not a style. Judo and Jiu Jitsu for water. We got Krav and Modern Arnis for metal. And then Muay Thai and Karate for wood. We've got a lot of cool stuff coming up with Houston Jones and Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Make sure you guys keep an eye out for that. Also, I think I'm going to start a new series called Can You Kick It? Where I try and kick different things and see if I can break them. So make sure you comment down below a list of things that you'd like to see me kick. Because I feel like that could be an interesting series. Who knows? Subscribe or I will mentally kick you. I'm doing it right now. I'm kicking you. It's been like 30 times now. Oh, jeez. Okay, peace.